What's up, YouTube? I'm your girl, PeachTopia, and thank you for joining me today. If you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell, honey, because you do not want to miss a beat of this girl. All right, I have something really delightful tonight that I'm going to show you guys how to prepare that I know you and your family will love. Without further ado, let's jump right into this video. This is my first video, by the way, and I'm not quite sure how much time I have. I'm still learning the techniques of YouTube. I have some equipment that I'm working with also, so bear with me. Slowly coming, but we're going to get this thing rolling. All right, let me tell you what I got going right here. So this is a peach cobbler, and these are some things that you will need. Very simple ingredients. Okay, we have regular sugar, we have brown sugar, 1 cup of each. I have 4 cans of 15-ounce peaches here. You will need cinnamon, nutmeg. I put a little allspice in mine, just a little bit, and you will need vanilla extract. You will need your measuring spoons. These are so cute. I love them. So I'm going to use a teaspoon. I'm going to be dashing a little love in this peach cobbler. Okay. You will need a piece of cutter. You really, is just up to you. I'll show you why I'm going to use this later. You'll need Pillsbury pie crust or whatever to your preference. I actually bought 2 of these, so I'll be pulling the other one out a little later. 1 stick of room temperature butter. You will need some cooking spray. I prefer Pam. This is the coconut. This is the spray corn oil. Anywho, and you will also need a roller, and this comes in handy for me because I like to get my dough a little flat anyway. Okay, so first what we're going to do in this camera, I'm working with this camera, so let me pull this back a little bit so you can see it's actually following me everywhere I need to go up in here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use let me see this is a 3-quart. So I got my 3-quart glass pan. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to spray it because you don't want the dough to stick. So you're going to make sure you spray the corners really well. All right, got that sprayed. All right, set that right there. The next thing you want to do is open up your pie crust, and what I'm going to do is roll this out. You're going to use all of this. Set that on the side. Need a knife. Knife. To cut this open because my nails won't let me do the trick. Okay. All right. It comes like this. Just gonna unroll it. I'm gonna be gentle because it will break apart. It's been setting out for room temperature. Okay, we're gonna unroll it like this. Or however you can get it unrolled, honey. There's no perfect way. All right. Try to get this camera to motion downward so you guys can kind of see. But for some reason, it's not working like that for me tonight. I'm going to use my pen, and what I'm going to do is flatten this out. I'm going to flatten it out because you want the edges. I'm just going to flatten and stretch it a little more because you want the edges of this to fit in the corners of your baking dish. Just roll it out. If you can stretch it with your hand, that's even better. But I cannot, so I'm using my pen, my rolling pen. All right, that's one. We got it to about like that, if you can see. There you go. All right, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna spread this into the baking dish. Okay. Guys, it will be overlapping the dish a little bit, but that's okay because you can take what's overlapping in the dish and you can break those pieces off, and you don't want any air bubbles because as you're flattening it out in the pan, it will appear to have some air bubbles. Like I said, you can break that off, but I don't like to waste any of my dough. Okay? All right, that's one. And I'm going to flatten out the other. Okay. Unroll it. Okay, looks like this. Let's roll this one out. You guys, I love cooking. That is one thing I can do very well, and that is cook. I always am preparing something delightful to eat around here in this kitchen. Okay, let's roll this out. Okay. All right. As you can see, almost like a pizza. We making a pizza here. Same concept. All right, so we're going to take it and we're going to press it inside the baking dish. Okay. I'm going to make sure we have the corners. No air bubbles. All right. I'm going to just break that off. Like I said, I wish there is a way I can show you guys what I'm doing, but I will show you in a second. I'm going to have to raise it up until I can figure out a little more about this camera. Just got to do what I got to do. You know, I was pondering my brain thinking what video could I make for my first YouTube channel? And honestly, I'm the queen of all things. And I just thought to myself, why don't you just make peach cobbler? Like, you love cooking. And this is a really good recipe that your family will love, I'm sure, because my family absolutely adores this peach cobbler. I say it like that. Okay, so we have it in the pan. This is what you want it. Somewhat look like. You just need to get it in there and make sure all the corners are covered. All right, now what I like to do is set my oven to 350, and you're gonna let this pie bake for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I like setting the oven 350, and I'm gonna set this in here for about 5 minutes because sometimes it just depends. I'm not sure how your peach cobbler turns out, but I like to bake this for about 5 minutes because sometimes if you pour the contents in here, the filling, you can pour it in here and it'll cook the top really fast, but then the bottom part will be kind of gummy, and you don't want that. So you want to go ahead on and get it a little, not too brown, but kind of halfway done. So let's go ahead and set the stove. the oven, you guys. The oven for 350. I'll go over here and set this. 350. Start. All right. So that's gonna take a minute. That's gonna take a minute to warm up. Literally just a minute, because my oven don't play no games. While the oven is warming up, I am gonna go ahead and start mixing the filling on the stove. It doesn't take but a few minutes to just kind of not really cook the peaches through, but just to kind of simmer everything together. And then when that's done, we're gonna pour that into the pan. Okay, what I'm trying to say here. All right. I don't know if my camera, follow me. My camera is moving, but I don't know if you guys will be able to see. So just bear with me, guys. Just bear with me. We're going to turn the oven on medium heat. Turn it on medium heat. We got the oven going. Okay. We got the stove going. All right. I'm going to transport this over here to the stove, you guys. All right. All right. For anybody who knows me, I always run dishwater. I clean as I go. I don't like a mess in my kitchen. So I have my dishwater over here prepared for these dishes. I'm going to touch this camera. Hopefully this camera will just follow me. Okay. I'm going to have to probably change the setting on it. I won't know until after this video is done how well I did. Don't judge. Okay. One thing I had to tell myself is stop overthinking this video. Stop overthinking YouTube and just get started. Get to getting, because you really waste a lot of time overthinking things. Like, just wasting time. Just jump in. So right now I'm gonna pour the sugar in here. I'm only going to do half at a time because I don't want it to be clunky. I kind of want it to simmer slowly. So I'm only putting half of the contents in at a time. This is the brown sugar, if you can see. Okay. Put half of that. All right. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Where's my teaspoon? You guys, I've not used these in a while. But yeah, so 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. One teaspoon of ground nutmeg is what I'm going to use next. All right. And then I'm going to use teaspoon of probably just a half a teaspoon of allspice. I don't want to use too much allspice. All right. Next, I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. All right. So we have all of those ingredients in there. I'm going to give this a stir. All right, you guys, I'm going to now, I'm going to need that other pie crust. Give me a second. And I'm going to go ahead and roll this one out. I'm going to roll this out because we're going to use this one for weaving the basket on top of the pie. Okay, because we need an outer. I don't know why I didn't set this one out as well, but I'm going to have to roll it out. I'm going to flatten this one just as I did the other ones, using my rolling pin again, y'all. Okay. Now, what I like to do is go ahead and use my, like, you guys be, what in the world? So what are you, Cameron, what are you doing? Like, you're doing too much. Follow me to the stove. I'm gonna have to put you on a different setting. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the other half of the sugar. I'm gonna give this a stir. All right. We're gonna let that simmer for just a little while. We're just gonna cook the filling down just a tad bit. All right. And my oven is still going, not quite ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the pieces for the basket top of the pie. All right, so this is what I needed the pizza cutter for. If you guys, I can motion this down so you can see what I'm doing. Oh. All right, there we go. So I'm just gonna make slices to go across the pie. And you don't want them too thick and you don't want them too thin. Okay. You guys, like I said, I have not learned all the technical part of doing the videos. I am learning. So I'm going to be great. I'm going to be great at this. Okay. There we have it. All right. So this is what I've done. I've made little strips to go on top of the pie. Now, once we get the filling on the inside, then we'll layer this on the top. Okay, for now it's going to sit right here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven for 5 minutes and let this brown just a little, not too much, because you do not want this fully cooked. You just kind of want it a little brown so it's not gummy at the very end. Okay. All right, I'm going to set this on the middle rack. Okay. All right. In the meantime, you guys, I'm going to clean up this small mess I've made, and I will be right back.